It's 2 a.m., and you are still awake, replaying a conversation that already happened, rehearsing a disaster that hasn't happened yet, running through 1,000 outcomes, none of which you can control. This is worry, and almost every single human being on Earth experiences it. But 2,000 years ago, a group of philosophers in Greece and Rome developed a method for dealing with worry that modern psychology is only now catching up to. They were called the Stoics. And what they figured out about anxiety may be more useful to you tonight than anything you've read on the internet. Before we get to the solution, let's understand the problem.
Worry feels productive. It feels like you're doing something, preparing, protecting yourself, staying alert to danger.
But the Stoics observed something uncomfortable about worry. Almost none of it actually helps. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about the last time you worried intensely about something. How often did the worst case actually happen? Most worry is not about real, present danger. It is about imagined futures. Futures that exist only in your mind, replayed over and over, costing you sleep, peace, and presence. The Stoics weren't naive about hardship. They lived through plagues, wars, exile, and political execution. They knew real suffering intimately, but they discovered something that changes everything. Most of our suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our thoughts about events that haven't even happened. The first and most powerful Stoic tool against worry is something called the dichotomy of control. The philosopher Epictetus taught it like this: everything that exists falls into one of two categories. Things within your control and things outside your control. Within your control, your thoughts, your effort, your actions, your responses, your values. Outside your control, other people's opinions, the economy, illness, the past, the future, what other people do or say.
Here is the practice. The next time you feel worry rising, ask yourself one question.
Is this within my control? If the answer is yes, stop worrying and start acting. Make the plan, send the message, do the work. Worry converts instantly into productive action. If the answer is no, and be honest with yourself here, then worrying about it is not just unhelpful. It is, in the Stoic view, a complete waste of the only resource you cannot replace: your mental energy and your time.
Epictetus wrote, "Man is not worried by real problems, so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems."
Try this right now. Think of something you're currently worried about. Ask, what part of this is actually in my control? Usually it's a small fraction, maybe 10%. The other 90%, you've been carrying for nothing.
The second tool sounds counterintuitive at first. The Stoics called it Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils.
This means deliberately imagining what could go wrong. Not to spiral into fear, but to rob fear of its power. Seneca wrote to his friend, "Nothing happens to the wise man against his expectation." The idea is simple. Most worry is actually fear of being blindsided, fear of an unexpected blow. So the Stoics practice sitting calmly and asking, what is the worst that could realistically happen here? Then, and this is the crucial part, they would ask, and if that happened, could I survive it? Could I handle it? Almost always the answer is yes. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. When you've already mentally rehearsed the worst case calmly, in a safe moment, it loses its power to ambush you later. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every morning. He wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to yourself, I shall meet with people who are ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful. None of this should surprise me. I have seen the nature of these things." He wasn't worried throughout his day, because he had already faced the worst case before breakfast, calmly, in his own mind. Try this with whatever you're worried about. Sit with the worst realistic outcome for 30 seconds. Then ask, would I survive this? The answer is almost always yes, and that answer is profoundly calming. The third Stoic tool is about where you place your attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Worry almost always lives in one of two places: the past, which cannot be changed, or the future, which does not yet exist. The present moment, right now, this breath, this task in front of you, is almost never actually a source of worry. It's manageable. It's real. It's here. The Stoics taught a simple practice. When worry rises, bring your attention back to exactly what is in front of you right now. Not next week's meeting, not the conversation you're dreading, just what is the next single physical action you can take right now. Pour the water, write the sentence, take the next step. Seneca described people who are always anxious about prolonging their lives while completely failing to live the single day in front of them. This isn't about ignoring real responsibilities. It's about recognizing that the only moment you can actually act in is this one. Everything else is mental rehearsal, and most of it is unnecessary. The final tool is one of perspective. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of the impermanence of all things, including worry itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river made up of the events which happen and a violent stream. For as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away and another comes in its place. And this will be carried away too." Whatever you're worried about right now, in 5 years, will you remember the details? In most cases, no. This is not meant to minimize what you're feeling. It's meant to offer scale. The worry that feels enormous right now is almost always a passing wave in a much longer life. The Stoics found genuine comfort in this. Not because nothing matters, but because they understood that clinging tightly to temporary anxieties only adds suffering to a life that is already short enough. So here are the 4 Stoic tools for worry, together. 1. Ask what's actually in your control and release the rest. 2. Calmly imagine the worst case and recognize you could survive it. 3. Return your attention to the single action in front of you, right now. 4. Remember that this feeling, like everything else, will pass. None of this makes worry disappear instantly. The Stoics were not promising a magic fix. They were offering a practice, something you return to again and again, every time worry rises.
That's what Stoicism actually is. Not the absence of feeling, the mastery of response. If this video helped you see your worry differently, share it with someone who needs it tonight.
Subscribe for more wisdom like this. And the next time you find yourself awake at 2 a.m., replaying things you cannot change, remember what Epictetus told his students 2,000 years ago.
Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems.
You have the tools now. Use them.